The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters. He restoreth my soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies. Thou anointest my head with oil, my cup runneth over. Surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Psalm 23 is one of the most beloved and well-known passages in the Bible, offering solace and assurance to countless individuals across the ages. At its core, it presents a vision of God as a caring, guiding, and protective shepherd. Written by David, who himself was a shepherd before becoming the king of Israel, the psalm reflects his intimate understanding of the duties and dedication involved in tending a flock, drawing a profound and personal parallel to God's relationship with humanity. The opening line, "The Lord is my shepherd, I shall not want," sets the tone for the entire psalm. Here, the metaphor of God as a shepherd conveys a sense of guidance and provision. Shepherds are tasked with nurturing and protecting their sheep, ensuring that their needs are met. By declaring that he shall not want, David is expressing his trust that, under God's care, he will never lack anything essential. This introduces a profound theme of divine sufficiency and contentment, a reassurance that when God is acknowledged as the shepherd in one's life, all necessary physical, emotional, and spiritual needs will be fulfilled. He maketh me to lie down in green pastures. He leadeth me beside the still waters, continues this imagery of provision and peace. Green pastures symbolize abundance, providing nourishment and rest for the sheep. Still waters, as opposed to turbulent ones, suggest tranquility and safety, which are essential for the vulnerable sheep to feel secure. Similarly, the imagery assures believers that God not only provides for their needs, but does so in a manner that brings peace and restoration. The phrase, "He restoreth my soul," highlights the restorative and renewing power of God's presence. Many people carry burdens, whether it be emotional stress, worry, guilt, or despair. This psalm promises that God has the power to rejuvenate the spirit. When life depletes and exhausts, God's guidance can refresh and revitalize one's soul. He leadeth me in the paths of righteousness for his name's sake, emphasizes God's role as a moral and ethical guide. The paths of righteousness refer to the right and virtuous ways of living. The notion of doing so for his name's sake indicates that such guidance aligns with God's character and purpose. The believer is not only led in ways that are right and good, but also reflects God's nature and glory through their actions. Yea, though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil, for thou art with me. Thy rod and thy staff, they comfort me. Shifts from pastoral tranquility to the reality of life's darker times. The valley of the shadow of death can be interpreted as any period of deep darkness or danger. Yet, even in such moments of peril, the psalm assures the believer of God's unwavering presence. The rod and staff are tools of a shepherd used for protection and guidance. Their mention here provides comfort and reassurance. It's a reminder that even in fearsome times, God is actively present, protecting and guiding. Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of mine enemies, portrays an image of divine providence and protection amidst adversity. To have a table set, even when surrounded by enemies, suggests an overwhelming sense of peace and assurance. This act of God symbolizes victory, abundance, and the ultimate safety of being under God's protection while being in the midst of potential threats. Thou anointest my head with oil, My cup runneth over, continues the theme of abundance and blessing. Anointing one's head with oil was a cultural act of honor, hospitality, and healing. It signifies being chosen and blessed by God. The overflowing cup represents an abundance of blessings and the overflowing joy and gratitude that come from realizing God's generosity and favor. Finally, surely goodness and mercy shall follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. Concludes the psalm with a confident declaration of faith in God's goodness and unfaltering mercy. It reassures that these divine qualities will forever remain with the believer. Moreover, the promise of dwelling in the house of the Lord forever signifies an eternal relationship with God, transcending the temporal bounds of earthly life and leading to a spiritual communion that lasts beyond all earthly trials. In summary, Psalm 23 is a timeless expression of faith and trust in God's provision, guidance, and protection. It offers comfort to those weary and stressed and assures them of God's faithful presence throughout life's journey, from times of rest and abundance to moments of darkness and fear, and ultimately to an eternal dwelling with the divine. Through its profound imagery and reassuring promises, this psalm has provided solace and strength to countless individuals, encouraging them to embrace the shepherd-like care and guidance of God.